Right now at noon, Pitt State STEM students will soon be able to take their studies to the next level.
It's a sunny day out there, but it's also on the windy side. Check your forecast coming up.
Plus, Congressman Derek Schmidt sits down with us to talk about the impacts of the government shutdown.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A crash involving a semi in Wilson County, Kansas, claims the lives of 2 adults and a child. This is KLEM News at noon. I'm Samantha Walker. It happened west of Neodesha at the intersection of US 400 and Granby Avenue yesterday. The Highway Patrol says a westbound car failed to stop at a stop sign and was hit by a northbound semi-truck. 3 people in the car died in that crash. They are Adam and Kylie Brooks, both age 21, and 2-year-old Cohen Brooks, all from Neodesha. The semi-driver was not hurt. Now let's check in with Donald O'Keefe for a look at your forecast.
You can see that the sun is starting to come out. The clouds are starting to dissipate as we progress through this morning, but you can probably notice maybe on our downtown Pittsburgh cam, it's not shaking right now, but it has been shaking quite a bit because it is windy out there. Range line I-44 from our MoDOT camera. You can tell it's not really windy, but it's definitely windy out there. Taking a look at our almanac, there has been a significant change in temperature over the last 24 hours. Yesterday, we reached 37 degrees and our low of 20, and our average is 61 and 39 for our low. So definitely way below average for yesterday. Today is actually going to reach that average. So we're seeing 60 degrees right now, but the main story is the winds out of the south-southwest at 26 miles an hour, gusting up to 36 miles an hour. It is definitely, like I said, windy out there. 53 degrees this evening, dropping down to 48 and 46 by 10 and 11 o'clock tonight, but clear skies on the colder side, but the winds will dissipate as we progress through the afternoon. As you can see, clear skies, but by the time we reach about 6-7 o'clock hour, the winds will die down and we'll have a clear night. But check your full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Donald. Governor Laura Kelly wraps up her statewide listening tour in Pittsburgh, gathering input from residents on how Kansas should spend taxpayer dollars. The 8-city People's Budget Tour follows a heated budget dispute between a Democratic governor and Republican-controlled legislature this spring. These stops give 4-staters a voice in shaping priorities for education, health care, infrastructure, and public safety funding before the 2026 legislative session.
This is not just for show, that we really do want the input so that I can take that information back to Topeka and craft a budget that will reflect what the people of Kansas are concerned about.
Governor Kelly wraps up her budget listening tour on Wednesday with a final stop in Wichita. Kansas Congressman Derek Schmidt says the House could vote as soon as midweek on a Senate spending bill, a move that could finally end the government shutdown. KLEM's Blake Gully sat down with him to talk about the timeline and the impact on 4-state families.
For over a month, the federal government shutdown has put pressure on workers and families, from senior citizens and veterans to those relying on SNAP benefits. Congressman Derek Schmidt says House leadership is preparing to act on the pending bill, but the exact timeline depends on when the Senate's paperwork reaches their chamber.
It could be immediate, could be a few days. I'm currently planning on headed back tomorrow, the evening of Veterans Day. That way I'll be sure to be there for Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely now, it looks like a House vote Wednesday or Thursday.
The congressman also discussed rising health care premiums. It's an issue that prompted Democrats in the Senate to vote against the spending bill. Schmidt says he's reviewing new ideas that could lower costs by shifting how federal dollars are used.
It's an idea to try to take the money and instead of subsidizing the insurance companies directly, use it to empower individuals to make more of their care choices. That can inject some market forces that can maybe go toward dealing with the underlying healthcare costs. And for some people, it could actually be better off because you'd be able to cover things like copays and deductibles or out-of-pocket costs that otherwise exist. So a lot of ideas, just need to get to yes on something.
Schmidt says he'd like to see House Democrat support for the spending bill, but as Republicans have enough votes to move forward without them. Blake Gully, KOAM News.
You can hear more from Congressman Schmidt and his full sit-down interview with Blake Goley. That'll be on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now, like he said, the House could vote as early as Wednesday afternoon on the compromise deal to reopen the government. The measure cleared the Senate late Tuesday after a record 41 days. Natalie Brand has the details from the White House.
Amid nationwide travel delays, House members are on notice to return to Washington for a vote as early as Wednesday to reopen the government.
You need to begin right now returning to the Hill. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
Right now we're focused on dealing with the bill that's coming over from the Senate to the House, and we're going to fight hard to defeat it.
But with President Trump's backing, the measure is expected to get the House GOP support it needs to pass.
We're going to be opening up our country. It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
The Senate-passed compromise package funds the government through January 30th, extends funding for SNAP or food assistance benefits for a full year, and reinstates federal workers who were laid off during the shutdown. 8 members of the Democratic caucus backed the measure, saying the pain of the shutdown was getting to be too much.
I think collectively within the caucus, they realized this has to end.
But the deal does not include an extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits that Democrats had been fighting for, prompting many to call it a setback.
A lot of people, not just Democrats, Republicans are going to be hit harder with these doubling of premiums actually than people in Democratic states. So this is a disaster all across the board, and people are bitterly disappointed.
Some federal workers question what it was all for.
To shut down the government over subsidies that it seems like won't even be a part of the negotiated deal seems to me to be a wasted month.
Furloughed workers could be back on the job as soon as Thursday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Now, Republicans have a 2-seat majority in the House, leaving very little room for dissent within their own party in order to pass the bill in that chamber. Well, coming up, a familiar sound of the holiday season, and Salvation Army is back. And later, we're making homemade cracker candy in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. JROTC students from Carl Junction paid their respects to fallen veterans yesterday. The cadets placed flags at the Mount Hope Cemetery in Webb City yesterday ahead of Veterans Day today. The students also placed flags along Range Line in the eastern edge of the cemetery. They also filled out their busy day with a trip to the Veterans Memorial Wall. This marks the 3rd year of the JROTC program at Carl Junction. And the 2025 Salvation Army kettle season kicks off. Yesterday morning, the Salvation Army of Jasper and Newton County started their kettle season by honoring bell ringers and recognizing some of those who gave their services last year. This is the most important fundraiser season for the Salvation Army. Well, Pitt State STEM students will soon be able to take their studies to the next level. KOAM's Kenny Foreman was there for the groundbreaking of a new facility that's expected to leave an impact far beyond campus.
I'm standing right in front of the site of what's soon to be Pitt State's new Prove Out facility. The facility is expected to provide students with more opportunities for hands-on learning while promoting economic development throughout the community. Located right next to the Tyler Research Center, the possibilities for the new facility are endless.
It's designed to help businesses test new materials, refine production methods, and bring new products to market right here in Pittsburgh, Kansas. This sort of thing doesn't happen by accident. It happens through years of fruitful win-win relationships.
The projected 47,000 square foot project will allow students to pursue their curiosities in a way that'll be beneficial for everyone.
Our students will be part of the research and the innovative practice and in investigating new ideas and coming out with solutions again that could really support industry and professional partners in making an economic impact for the real world problems that exist in our region.
The idea is to create a space where companies will want to collaborate with the students' ideas to help grow their businesses even further.
Businesses want to be close to facilities like this. They want to be close to students and the faculty like we have here at Pittsburgh State. So just really excited about what the future holds.
And the school is already excited for their experts to help the students get started.
We have some of the world-renowned scientists and they work in polymer chemistry. So ways of designing new materials that, for example, might be in the past not biodegradable, and our new materials could be more friendly friendly to our environment and be biodegradable.
In Pittsburgh, Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The project has received $12 million, which includes state and federal funding. It's expected to be completed in 2026. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Looking for a unique treat that will satisfy your salty and sweet craving at the same time? Well, we've got it.
Sunny skies have arrived this afternoon, but it's still very windy out there, and I'll have a look at why coming up. The sunny skies have arrived this afternoon, but it's still windy out there. You can take a look at the downtown Pittsburgh cam right now. You can see that the sunny skies have arrived. There is still a little bit of clouds out there. Look at how much that camera is shaking. You can tell that it's definitely pretty windy at this moment. It's really windy, but we also have noticed a pretty significant temperature change. Across the area, we've seen basically mid-20s to almost 30-degree temperature change over the last 24 hours. And you can tell because, I mean, being almost freezing to the lower 60s today, it's definitely a nice warm-up. And here's the reason why. We're seeing a nice southerly flow of wind making its way into our area, and that will continue through the rest of the week due to a high-pressure system that's way down here by Mississippi that's bringing in that nice warm air. So that's going to stick around. However, it's bringing in that wind. It actually jumped a little bit ahead, but right now we're seeing wind gusts up to about 45, even pushing 50 miles an hour in some areas. But by the time we get to Tuesday at 6 p.m., those winds will start to calm down. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, the winds will die out and dissipate, but we will see some nicer weather for our Wednesday. Right now, today, our future track, today at noon, there's those winds that are going to continue through the afternoon. Sunny skies through the rest of the afternoon until we get to about the evening time. The winds are going to start dying off. And it's still going to be pretty clear. We're going to look at a pretty clear night. It's going to be a pretty nice night, especially with those winds starting to die off and dissipate. Once we get into Wednesday morning, about 5 a.m., we're going to have a little bit of a wind shift. You can see about right here, we got some southerly winds mixing with some northwesterly winds. But it's still going to be a pretty nice day as you're waking up Wednesday morning. Still a bit on the cooler side, but not as cold as it was a few days ago. And then we get to about Wednesday afternoon. The winds start to come mostly out of the northwest and north. And then by the afternoon, the winds go to the east and they'll eventually make their way back from the south again. So our current conditions at this moment, 60 degrees and sunny skies, but the main story is our winds out of the south-southwest, 26 miles an hour, and then it's gusting up to 36 miles an hour. And like I said, don't forget, it could be 45, maybe even 50 in some areas around here. So for today, a high of 62 degrees, partly cloudy skies on the windier side for today, and then we get into the nighttime, dropping down to a 40-degree low. It's going to be clear and cold, but the winds are going to definitely be dissipating through the evening into the overnight. And for tomorrow, it's going to be a pretty nice day. 67 degrees for a high. It's going to be on the warmer side, nice and sunny, winds light and variable. So a nice break from all that cold that we had and also all the wind that we're having today. So today, 62 degrees, windier on the windier side. Tomorrow, 67 on the warmer side. And look at that, Thursday and Friday, we're going to see possibly 70s again. That's going to be a really nice end to our work week. And then we get to Saturday, we're going to see a 74. But then by about Sunday into Monday is when we're going to see a system that's going to start pushing in and actually bringing some possible rain to our area and cooling things down to the mid-50s again. So let's enjoy this really nice weather while it's here before we're going to start getting back to that fall-like temperatures and possibly, again, rain on Sunday and Monday.
And I know these seasonal changes and these seasonal, temperature changes are really hitting people. I know it's hit you, Donald. It hit me a few weeks ago when it first started. So if people at home are feeling it, please know you're not alone. No. It's happening. It's coming. Be prepared.
Yeah, my nose feels like it's been stuffed up for like 2 or 3 days now, and it just won't go away. But this nice weather might clear it out a bit.
Yes, and at least make it maybe a little bit worth it.
Yes, definitely.
Well, thanks, Donald. Stick around. We're making homemade cracker candy in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. As the holiday season nears, you might be looking for a sweet treat that's easy to make and perfect to share. Well, Howard shows us how to make homemade cracker candy in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Way before it was trendy to mix salty snacks with sweet ones, I remember that my brother and I would take potato chips and dip them into hot fudge. There's just something about it that makes it irresistible. And today, we're making a homemade candy that is, it's a little salty and a little sweet that can and will satisfy your cravings. Just watch. After covering a baking pan with foil, we line it with a layer of buttery crackers. Now, that's going to be our salty part. Then we carefully pour the caramel mixture over that. Then we made by cooking together some brown sugar and a little bit of butter. Now, after spreading that, we pop it in a 350-degree oven for maybe 5 minutes or so. And once the caramel bakes up, we turn off the oven and top it with some semi-sweet chocolate chips. And a little test kitchen tip, use semi-sweet chocolate chips as they really melt better. And to melt them, just place the pan back in the oven for a few minutes till the chips are soft. And once they are, we'll spread that melted chocolate all over the top. Maybe top it off with some chopped pecans or really any kind of nuts you'd like. And once this cools, then comes the fun part. Breaking it into pieces and enjoying the combo of the salty and buttery crackers with the toffee layer and all that to die for chocolate. Look, the recipe for homemade cracker candy is online now, so you can whip up an easy family treat with the stuff you have right in your pantry. And when it's this easy, this fast, and oh my gosh, this addictive, it's downright, as we say around here, downright, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
Well, it's a sunny day today, but on the windier side, winds gusting up to 45 miles an hour, and on the warmer side too, 62 degrees for our high, 67 degrees tomorrow, and warmer with some sun, getting up to 70s to end our work week before another front comes in this weekend to cool things down with the rain showers that are possible.
Well, sounds good. Thanks so much, Donald. What do you have for us coming up tonight?
Well, a lot's coming up at 5. For starters, it is Veterans Day, and those who serve know making the transition back to civilian life in the workforce can be challenging. We're going to have more on a program that trains veterans and active military members to use their skills in the medical field. Plus, a showcase of all the Veterans Day events and celebrations across the 4 states. And we're going to sit down with Kansas Governor Laura Kelly to discuss the issues impacting you, from the government shutdown to rising health care costs. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Well, those all sound great. Thank you so much, Dow. Well, that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. Have a great afternoon.